I have an Arch Linux, I have a spam. Ugh, Arch Linux spam. No, you didn't click on a video from a month ago, and no, I'm not a month late to this topic. A new Arch user repository, or AUR, spam wave, malware wave, whatever you want to call it, has now taken place. Now, you might recall that I made a video on the previous spam wave, and then the AUR following the spam wave and dealing with all of that going on, reopening registrations, allowing new accounts to be created, new people to join the AUR, and new people to hopefully make good changes. In that video, I basically said, though, that this problem had not been resolved, and the mitigations that they put in place were not at all related to the problem, and were not going to fix anything. Those specifically being, disposable email addresses are now rejected, email verification is now mandatory, most users are unaffected, but new accounts must verify the email address via a time-limited token, which is valid for 24 hours, and email changes are locked during the verification cooldown. Following this taking place, what appears to have first been reported on Reddit is, this one here. pgadmin4-server.git added a binary named parser and executes it using sudo, which makes it very obvious if you were ever seeing sudo in a package build, either it's a mistake or it's malicious. There's not really a good reason to do so. Now, there is a breakdown of this specific variation of the attack. If you'd like to go and read that for yourself, I'll leave it linked all down below. But this time, I'm far less interested in the specific variation. This is an info stealer. It's bad. If you installed this package, that's a problem. But if this was just like a one-off package, sometimes due to the very nature of the AUR, malware does get uploaded, things do sneak in. The problem is very shortly after this, about 200 more packages were discovered, all doing basically the exact same thing. Do note, this specific post is AI generated, which should be obvious even if it didn't mention the LLM here, but this has been independently verified. This is an actual problem which does exist on the AUI, it's just the initial reporter didn't really help their case. Whilst these do appear to be the first affected packages, this isn't the actual start of the attack. A few days prior to this, so this was reported 4 days ago, a few days before that, this was posted on the AUR mailing list. New spam, out of date, and orphan requests. Basically, the exact same thing that was being done last time is being done again. These accounts, whether operated by a single person, a group, a script, an agent, a mix of all the above, literally doesn't matter, it's the same end result. We're going around to packages like this one. This was not affected, but it's an example package, and then reporting that package as out of date. There would be a little button here that says report is out of date. That button is not there for good reason. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then also filing an orphan request. An orphan request is where you say, this package doesn't have an active maintainer, I want to take over that package. If that maintainer doesn't respond in a certain amount of time, that package is obviously abandoned, so it is orphaned. Or if they do respond and say, hey, I'm no longer maintaining this, you can take it over, then the attacker gets the package and can do whatever they want. Now, in most cases, when a package is adopted, it's totally fine. It is a totally normal thing. New maintainer takes over, they keep maintaining it the way it's always been done, or maybe change some things here and there to make it better, and we go about our day. In this case, though, we push an info stealer. This person here realized exactly what was going on, and the requests for their packages were not accepted. Someone else in the thread had the exact same thing happen, and these were also rejected. Now, one thing mentioned here is the out-of-date message contains the second plane analogy and 2 YouTube videos. I wasn't 100% sure on what that meant. However, in a separate thread where this time they're using deletion requests instead of orphan requests, so deleting the entire package, which would then allow them to take over the package by uploading a new one, we have this. Mr. President, a second plane has hit the boom AUR, and linked to 2 YouTube videos. I have a feeling this is the same set of videos. Now, you might be wondering, what are those videos? Don't worry, they're not crazy. Well, the entire situation is crazy, and the person doing this might be crazy. The videos themselves are totally fine, though. The first one being Junko Ohashi's Telephone Number, which is a song from 1984 and has the cover art of the Twin Towers. The second one, which I thought would have been related to the Twin Towers, which could go in any number of directions, I'll leave that up to your imagination, was not that at all. Instead, it was Google Translate English to French translation TikTok meme. It's basically a funny French cat meme. What's the connection? I have no idea. Whilst most of the attempts were on packages that weren't really abandoned, maybe the maintainer just stepped away and wasn't really paying attention to it, but it didn't really need that much maintenance, there were some packages which actually were truly abandoned. So when something goes from the AUR into the main Arch repos, into the extra repos, the AUR version of that package is supposed to be deleted because the extra version, that is now the package that is now in the core Arch repos. In some of these cases, at least this one here, that didn't happen. So there was no maintainer, nobody was paying attention to it because it shouldn't have existed in the first place. Whilst there were absolutely maintainers who were paying attention to stop some of this from happening, as should be obvious from the 200 packages from earlier, there were definitely some that were missed. For example, this one right here, git-pkgs. Now, this is not the actual Git package, a Git subcommand for analyzing package/dependency usage in Git repos over time, which had this change here, adding a minifier. We had nerd, which had a very similar change, this time with encryptor. We had proxy pin, which again, this had renderer, and we had a typo squatted version of Brave Origin. There are actual versions of Brave Origin available on the AUR. Those are Brave Origin-bin, Brave Origin-nightly-bin, and Brave Origin-beta-bin. This was Brave-Origin and added something known as translator. Just to make matters a little bit worse, the AUR has really good SEO. So if you searched Brave Origin AUR, you'd find the malware version as the top result. Now, I'm not blaming the Arch user repository for this. Most of the time, the SEO is great. But when something typo squatting slips through the cracks, this can happen. Whilst this is a pretty big problem, there's also a big problem on the side of fixing this. Earlier we had parser, then we had minifier, here we have encryptor, then we have renderer. For Brave Origin, we have translator. Unlike last time, this isn't just a matter of running a very simple grep to just find any of the package build changes. This is something where the AUR moderators are going to have to go through every single change, especially those that came from package adoptions, but who knows if some accounts were compromised or not. No changes during this period can just be immediately trusted unless, you made the change yourself. Whilst I don't know of any cases of any accounts being compromised, it's not something that can be entirely ruled out. What appears to have happened here is the majority of these changes came from basically new accounts that appear to either be randomly generated or some other form of just creating a nonsense name. None of the names actually appear to mean anything. So the question is, what happens now? Well, as posted on the mailing list by Robin Kandu, AUR package adoptions are disabled. Due to the current influx of malicious package adoptions and follow-up commits made via the AUR, package adoption is currently disabled while we are handling the situation. We will send a follow-up once we're able to. In the meantime, feel free to report suspicious adoption events or commits that haven't been dealt with yet, and stay vigilant. Thank you for your understanding. And of course, following this, a bunch more were found. Now, obviously, these were not new ones that were made, but things had not been entirely cleaned up yet, and things still had to be dealt with. This is the malware that is being injected, and this is the actual list of affected packages. Now, most of these packages As you should expect from it being taking over orphaned packages, most of these are pretty much just junk, or in some cases might be typo squatting. Maybe someone installed warp terminal-git if they really wanted the warp terminal. I guess that could be the case, but you are seeing things like, where is it? Linux CashOS-bin. The actual CashOS kernel is Linux-CashOS. There is no bin version of it. Or we have things like hyperkeys-git-bin. If you ever see -git-bin, either assume it is a mistake or it's just malicious. Or Noctalia-git-bin. A -bin package is the latest binary. A -git package is the latest git commit. Basically, no repos are generating binaries for every single git commit. There are some out there, but usually those are named as a nightly package because that is a specific thing they are trying to do. When it's just a random thing like this, almost certainly gonna be malware. During all this, one very interesting thing happened. There was an account created with a disposable email account and adopted a single package, Python-Airtable-wrapper. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of the specific mitigations they said they put in place. So I'm assuming they missed some, or there's some random one out there basically no one uses. But, yeah. I didn't think that was a good mitigation in the first place, and it clearly missed some stuff anyway. Following all this taking place, another change was made. We have now disabled pushes altogether as well for the moment while we handle the situation. Sorry for the inconvenience. So no changes can be pushed to the AUR. Along with this, registrations are also disabled. Out-of-date requests are also disabled. Basically, it is on read-only mode until they deal with everything. Whilst it is probably unrelated, I do think it is very interesting timing for Morten Linderud, otherwise known as Foxperon, to announce his resignation from the Arch Linux project. He's been around for about 10 years now, has his hands in basically everything, and whilst I don't necessarily think it is directly related to this taking place, I wouldn't be surprised if, dealing with problems like this, dealing with security issues, dealing with all this nonsense going on, does lead to a little bit of burnout. Now, malware on the AUR is absolutely nothing new, so at the end of last year, the Chaotic AUR decided to have a trusted maintainers system. So the Chaotic AUR basically takes the AUR, builds the packages, and is like a filtered version of the AUR. Not only that, because they have these trusted maintainers, they are also reviewing the changes that are coming in. Whilst you should be reviewing your own package builds, if you want to use the AUR and you don't want to review anything, the Chaotic AUR is a much safer way to do so. Obviously, things will slip through the cracks, but if you're not reviewing your own packages, firstly, you should be reviewing your own packages, but if you're not, you can go ahead and use this. The name Chaotic AUR is kind of like a misnomer. It's more like the Chaos Control AUR. But back to the AUR itself. So, I said it last time, and I'll say it again this time. This problem is not going to go away ever. Like, ever. As soon as registrations, adoptions, and pushes open back up, if nothing changes, it is 100% going to happen again. It might be the next day, might be a week, might be a month, might be a year later. It is going to happen again and again and again, and it is going to get worse and worse and worse. Adoptions need to be rethought. Either only trusted maintainers should be allowed to adopt packages, or if a package is orphaned, someone requests that it is orphaned. If the maintainer doesn't respond, a moderator should be the one that approves that request. Somebody needs to be in the chain that says, okay, this person is allowed to adopt the package. Also, there needs to be much stricter rules around typo squatting. When there's something like a -git-bin, this is a very weird suffix and is very rarely used, so if it is going to be used, there needs to be some scrutiny on why it is being used. That needs to be flagged and someone needs to look at it. Whether it's like an AI scan or something like that, just something needs to be done. If there is a new version of a package that already exists, like say we have the Brave Origin -bin, if someone makes a Brave Origin package, is that a real package? That should be flagging a system. That should be saying, hey, there's something weird here. Is it weird? Is this valid? Why is this here? Either an AI scan or someone needs to check it. There needs to be some scrutiny over these packages. The AUR is an absolutely fantastic resource. I love the AUR. I love that we have the AUR, but it cannot continue to function in the state that it is currently in. Yes, everybody should be reviewing their own package builds. I would expect that the majority of people, and as more people come to use Arch Linux, are not doing that. And are just using AUR help, whether it be a TUI or a GUI one, and just pretty much clicking yes on everything and installing whatever they want. On the AUR helper side of things, I really do think they need a warning if a new maintainer comes in. If that happens, that should be something that says, hey, make sure you check the package. Is this actually valid? Be safe. Or if a package is a very new package, let's say it's only been existing for, a couple of days, let's say less than a month, the AUR helper should say, hey, this is a new package, verify it, make sure it's safe, and, all things are well. Now, I don't expect people to actually review their packages, but at the very least, give them a sign that they probably should. So for now, things are once again done. Again, whilst this is being resolved, be safe in the AUR, just make sure you check what you're installing. You should always check, but extra make sure you check right now. And, yeah. Hopefully something can be done here, because if it's not, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So, if you liked the video, go like the video, go subscribe as well, go hype if you're on mobile, and if you really like the video, let me know your thoughts down below. If you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe, Silly Pay, link in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and nah.
Something.